ओके, आई थिंक हम लोग अभी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। जो लोग नए आए उनके लिए बस एक ये बोल दूंगा मैं कि क्या होता है एक्चुअली। तो एल्गोडॉक्स में हम लोगों ने एक टॉपिक चूज किया। आज का टॉपिक लिंक लिस्ट है। इसमें हम लोगों ने कुछ 15 क्वेश्चंस दिए। क्वेश्चंस 3 कैटेगरी में डिवाइड किए थे, इजी, मीडियम एंड हार्ड। बेसिकली ये लिंक लिस्ट के ऑलमोस्ट सारे टॉपिक्स कवर करना चाहिए एंड आफ्टर डूइंग दिस तुम्हारा लिंक लिस्ट स्ट्रॉन्ग होना चाहिए अगर तुम लोगों ने सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए तो। तो तुम लोगों को सारे क्वेश्चन ट्राई करने होते हैं। नेक्स्ट टाइम का तुम्हें टॉपिक के क्वेश्चन आज रात तक मिल जाएंगे एंड एवरी संडे हम सेशन करा के उसके क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करेंगे। सो हम लोग आज 6 क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हैं डिस्कस। एंड अगर अगर तुम लोगों ने कोई क्वेश्चन पढ़ा भी होगा एंड तुम्हें कुछ डाउट होगा, इवन देन यू कैन आस्क अस, हम तुम्हारे डाउट सॉल्व कर देंगे। ओके, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 2:09, हम लोग स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। सो लिंक लिस्ट शुरू करने से पहले आई थिंक केशव थोड़ा लिंक लिस्ट का बोल देगा एंड देन तुम्हें तुम्हें क्वेश्चन कराना शुरू कर देंगे। केशव?
हाँ, सो स्टार्ट करते हैं।
स्टार्ट दिस।
ओके, so पहले first I'll cover the basics of linked list, the implementation of linked list. So because we don't want to cover all the theory, we don't want to make this session a theory session. We'll cover in the next 5 minutes I'll cover the basics of linked list and we'll start with the questions. Okay, so all of you must have seen this meme, right? Linked list data structure be like, I know a guy who knows a guy. So what is a linked list? So I'll share a picture with you. So this is a linked list. So basically, linked list contains nodes, have nodes. Okay, so there are 5 nodes here, and there are two things that the node contains. So first is the data element, and the next is the pointer. So अब यहाँ पर ये नोड है, यहाँ पर n1 उसका डेटा है और ये बॉक्स में उसका पॉइंटर है नेक्स्ट नोड पर। सो नोड 1 नोज नोड 2, मतलब नोड 1 के जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर है यहाँ पर नोड 2 का डेटा स्टोर्ड है और नोड 2 के नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर पे नोड 3 का डेटा स्टोर्ड है। सो ऐसे this is what the meme was about. So I know a guy who knows a guy. So this guy knows this guy, this guy knows, so this guy knows this guy, this guy knows this guy, and this guy don't know anyone, so its next pointer is null. So basically n1 is the data, and in this box the address of the next node is stored. So address means location of the next node. So I'll just share the implementation of of the node in Python and C++. So this is the implementation of a node in Python. So there are two things inside a node. That is, first is the data, and you can have anyone many data elements. Here is only here I've shown only one data element and the next pointer. The next pointer stores the pointer to the next node. If is so pointer to the next node. Next one, this is the implementation of a node in C++. So there are two elements. First is the data, as shown in the previous slide, and second is the pointer to the next node. And this is the implementation of node in linked list in Python. So first element is the data, and second element is the address of the next node. And if there is no second next element, then the pointer will be pointing to null. So basically, there is a head pointer which points to the first element of the node, and most of the time there is only a head pointer. There will be not a tail pointer, because okay, so there will be only a head pointer which will point to the first node, so that we can do operations on the linked list. So I'm going to cover a simple operation on linked list, which is insertion of a node between two nodes in a linked list. So this is the linked list, and this is the data element, and this is the pointer to the next node. Same for all those all other nodes. And if I want to add a node in between C and D nodes, so first I'll do is I'll remove this pointer which is pointing to the next node. I'll make it point to my new node. So I made it point to my new node, and I'll make my new node's next pointer point to the next node. So I'll remove this pointer, and I'll just change the pointers in the previous and the new node. So this is the simple insertion operation in linked list. There are other important operations like finding the length of the linked list and also inserting at the end of the linked list and deleting a node from the linked list. And since we don't want this to be a theory session, we'll cover that during while we are solving the questions, while we are discussing the questions. So we'll start with the questions now. So I'm going to discuss a question which is reverse a linked list. I'll read out the question for you. So you're given the pointer to the head node of a linked list. Change the next pointer of the node so that the order is reversed. So essentially, so basically we have to reverse a linked list. So I'll explain the question using a image. So 1 minute. So this is a linked list. This is a linked list, and we want to reverse the linked list. So reverse in the sense we want to change the next pointers of all the nodes and make it point to the previous node. In that way, our linked list will be reversed. So basically, if I want to reverse this linked list, I'll first make the pointers point to the previous nodes. So I'll make the pointers point to the previous nodes. And since there is no node before 1, it will point to none. And initially a head pointer was pointing to the first node. Okay, a head pointer was pointing to the first node. Now that our linked list is reversed, our head pointer will point to this node now. Should point to this node because the first element of the linked list is always the head. So now 4 becomes our head of the linked list. So this is the question, and this is what we have to do. So how are we going to do it? So there are 2 approaches to solve this problem. First is a very naive approach in which we use another list or array to store all the nodes, and then we change the pointers. And the next approach is the optimal approach, which is the expected answer. And I'll cover that at the end of the session. First, I'll discuss the naive approach with you all. So first I'll make a list. So this you can call this as a Python list or array in C++. So basically I'll make a list, and I'll add all the nodes in this list. So there are 4 nodes, so I will add all the 4 nodes in this list. So first one is 1, second one is 2, third one is 3, fourth one is 4. And initially they are pointing to the next node. So this is how it is going to be, and this will point to none. And what I'll do is this, since this is a list, what I'll do is I'll start from the second index, and I'll change the pointer of the second index. So I'll remove this pointer and make it point to the previous node. I'll remove this and then I'll go to the next index. I'll remove this pointer and make it point to the previous node. And I'll go to this node. I'll make this pointer point to the previous node. And then in the end, I'll make the first node point to null, because it will become our last element here. So the first node will be pointing to none, and our last element will become a head. So this will become a head, and we have to return this head as an answer. So I'll share the code with you. 1 second. Okay. Oh, 1. So first of all, we are given the head of the linked list. We have to reverse it. So we have to reverse it. And if our head is none, so suppose if our head is none, there is nothing to reverse. I'll just return none. Okay, so I'll return none. If my head is not none, I'll make a new list. Okay, this is a new list, and I'll traverse my original list. So I'll point it to I will make my current pointer point to the head, and I'll traverse the whole list and push all the nodes to my new list. And you can call this as a array in C++. So you can call this as a array in C++. So first I'll do is I'll traverse my array. For traversing the array, so I will traverse my array first. Okay. So for traversing my array, I have to just change my current pointer to point to the next node. So this is how you traverse array. So while current is not none, so this is I'll write it also. While its current is not none, I'll change my current pointer to point to the uh, next node. So this is our linked list. I'll start from this node. Okay. So initially my current is this. Okay. So first push this element to my new list, and I'll change my current pointer to point to the next element. So this is what we are doing here. So first of all, I'll push my current element so to the list. So I'll push my current element to the list, and then I'll change my current pointer to point to the next element. So in this way, in the next iteration, I'll point it to the third element, and I'll push 2 to the new list. And in the third iteration, I'll push my third node to the new list, and I'll change my current pointer. And in this way, at one time my current pointer will be pointing to none, and that time my while loop will break out, and I'll come out of the while loop. So this is a very simple operation in which you just append all the nodes to the new list. After that, so I'll get the length of the new list. Let n be the length of the new list, and I'll n with the length of the new list, and I'll traverse my this is a list now. Okay, so we have all the nodes inside the list here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll just start with the second node, which is the index 1, and I'll change the pointer of the second node, third node, and fourth node, and at the end I'll change the pointer of the first node. So I'll run a for loop from here for I in a range. I'll start from the first index to the last index, and I'll just change the pointer of the current index to point to the previous node. So this is how it is going to be. And in the end, I'll change the pointer of the first element to point to none, since our first element will become our tail, last element, and it should point to the none. It should point to none. This is the first approach, which is a very optimal approach if you look in terms of time, because it is traversing the array only 2 times, or traversing the list only 2 times, and it is giving you the answer in big O of n. But in terms of space, it is taking extra big O of n space. So this is so we have to improve this solution, and I'll explain the next approach at the end of the session, because it is kind of we have to use three pointers to do that, and I'll explain after the easy questions get over. So over to you, Mohil.
If anyone has doubts regarding this first question, they can feel free to ask right now. If there are no doubts, then we can move forward to the next question. Okay.
Also, the second method that he said is actually this, like reversing a linked list is one of the most difficult questions of linked list, and and this is usually asked in Google interviews. So the second method, which will tell at the end, is actually a very nice and a very like well-known question. Okay, if there are no questions, we can move forward.
All right. Is my screen visible right now?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. So the next question which we are going to discuss right now will be removing duplicate elements from a sorted linked list. So the question goes like this. Given a singly linked list consisting of n nodes, the task is to remove duplicates, the nodes with duplicate values from the given list if exist. And they have given us a note that we are not supposed to use extra space and the time complexity should be n. And the best part in this question is that the nodes are already arranged for us in a sorted way. So before jumping to the code, let us visualize the question a bit better. So suppose we have this linked list 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So over here, you can see that 2 and 3 are the elements which are repeated. So what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to remove all the duplicates and such that our final answer should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in order to do it in one pass only, that is in a big O solution, we need to observe that the duplicate occurrences will be just next to the first occurrence of that particular value. For example, uh, over here in this linked list, this is my first unique occurrence, and all the occurrence of 2 afterwards are the duplicates. So so the other 2 needs to go. Same goes for the same goes for the first 3. This needs to stay, and the others need to go. Okay, so that's what I've written over here. Since the linked list is sorted, as soon as we get the first occurrence of a number, we know the duplicates of it, if any, has to be the nodes exactly after them. What we'll do is we'll simply start traversing the array. Okay, and after each unique occurrence, we'll stop and then we'll start checking the nodes after that particular node. If not, we'll simply delete those nodes and we'll connect the first occurrence of the previous node to the first occurrence of the next value. Now I'll move towards the code so that it becomes more clear to understand. All right, so this is the function which removes the duplicates. Whenever anyone is solving a linked list question, the output format, the return format is usually the first node of the final linked list you want to give it as the answer. So obviously you can't make changes on the root node. So what we do is we create a temporary node. In this case, I've made a node called as CUR current, and I've pointed it to the node. Okay, and so what will happen is I will make all the changes on the current node, and my root node still points to the first node of the linked list, and then I can return it afterwards, like I've done in line number 81. So firstly, we are just removing the edge cases. Like if my root is null, then I have to return null, like we have seen in Keshav's example. Now what we are doing is we are putting up a while loop, and we are running the while loop till the time our current nodes next does not point to null. That means till the time our linked list does not reach to the end. Okay. So now we are checking is if the current data, that means the current node's value is equal to the next node's value or not. If it is so, then what I'll do is I'll point to my temporary node. I created this node called next. I created this temporary node called next, and I'm pointing it to the node after that particular node. Okay, and I'm freeing that particular node, the one which was a duplicate. The free command is used to delete the node. Okay, so I'm deleting it, and I'm linking my first occurrence to the next node, and I'm doing it till then. If in case, so for example, once I've removed this 2, the next element which I'm going to see is 3. Okay, so once I get something like this, I will simply link 2 to 3, like I've done in the else. If the current data is not equal to the next data, which was the case right now, then cur is equal to cur next, and this goes till the end of the linked list. And once we are done, we have our final answer ready, and we return the first node of the final linked list. So that's pretty much how we do it. This question. Anyone has any doubt can ask right now. Okay, if you guys don't feel comfortable in asking by putting on your mic, turning on your mic, you can also ask in the chat section. We'll keep reading them just in case. Okay. So if no one has doubt, I'll move forward to the next question. Okay. So the next question is from LeetCode. Okay, so I like to brief you something about LeetCode. LeetCode is the more widely used website, for interview preparation. It has the questions for all the companies, all the major tech giants like Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. Their questions are properly marked and labeled in the LeetCode platform. So it is one of the very good websites for particularly interview preparation. Okay, so moving on to the question right now. Okay, so the next question we are seeing right now is the intersection of two linked lists. Okay, so the question says, write a program to find the node at which the intersection of two singly linked lists begins. Okay, so for over here they have given us an example. There are two linked lists over here. Okay. Okay, so now we have two linked lists. One is A and the other is B. The linked list A is A1, A2, C1, C2, C3, and linked list B is B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Now, when you are given it this as input, you can't straight away say that, okay, C1 is the point of intersection. So we have to find out an algorithmic route to do that. Okay, so all right. So one approach which we can think of over here is we use memorization. Okay. There is another approach which we'll discuss afterwards, but for now I'll try to explain it the easy way. So what we're going to do over here is we are going to traverse any one of the node, either A or B. It's our choice. So what we're going to do is, as we traverse the linked list A, so in C++ there is a data structure called as map. I think it is a dictionary in Python. So what it has a key and a value pair. So over here, what I'm doing is my key is going to be the node which I'm traversing, and the value is going to be the count of it, count of that node's occurrence. Okay. So as I'm traversing A, what I'll do is once I'm visiting A, I will mark count of A1 as 1. Once I'm visiting A2, then it is going to be 1 for A2, and so forth. Okay. Now we know that now we have a account of all the nodes that were presented linked list number A. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll start traversing linked list number B. Okay. And now what we are going to check is if there is an entry of B1 in my map or not. If not, I'll move forward. So B1 has no entry in my map, so I'll move forward. B2 has no entry, so I'll move forward. B3 has no entry, so I'll move forward. But C1 has an entry in our node over here. So that means this is the node which is common between both A and B linked list. So what I'll do is I'll break my while loop over here and I'll return the C1 node. So now I'll show you the code for it. Okay, so this is so this is the code for the problem. I'm using a map in C++. The key is going to be the node, and the value is going to be the integer. That is the count of the occurrence of that particular node. Now, I'm traversing my linked list number A, and as I'm traversing, I'm logging the entry of those particular nodes in my map. Okay, and then I'm just literally traversing the linked list till the end of the A. Now, again, I'm starting the traversal of B linked list, and I'm simply checking if the entry of head B exists or not. If it exists, I'm returning the head B. And if the while loop ends and there is no return, then I'll simply return null. That simply means that there is no point of intersection between two linked lists. So this is one of the approach in which you can solve the problem. This one is a much more easier way to visualize and a way a normal person would think about doing it if he has to do it manually. Now, Keshav will explain another method, which is a bit more optimized, but a little complex to understand. Over to you, Keshav.
Okay. So is my screen visible? Hello. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay. So we
yes.
are given two linked lists, A and P. We need to find out this node because this is where they both are intersecting without using extra space. So how are we going to do it? Uh, so the second method, as Mohil told, is a little complex. So first what we do is traverse the linked list A and find out its length. So I'll traverse the linked list A and find out its length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the length of A is 5, and then I'll traverse the linked list B and find out its length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length of the second linked list is 6. Now what I'll do is since we know that there are head pointers of the linked list, so this is the head pointer of linked list A. This is the head pointer of linked list B. Okay, HA and HB. So what I'll do is since I'll find the difference of both the lengths, and what I'll get is 1. So I'll take the absolute value. Okay. So this is the difference between the length of both the nodes, and I need to find out this node. So how we'll do is, if first we'll make the head of B travel forward, the difference between the forward for uh, travel forward for one node. So we'll make the head of the second node, second linked list, that is B, move move a node forward. So now the head of B will point here. So now the length of both the linked list will be equal, since we changed the head of the second linked list. We moved the head pointer of the second linked list step forward, and now both of these linked lists have the same length. So now what we are going to do is, if we'll traverse both the linked lists at the same time simultaneously. Okay, so we'll traverse the linked list A first. So simultaneously we're going to traverse. So first we'll take 2 pointers. First one is suppose A, second one is suppose B. We'll check we'll check if A1 is equal to B2. So they are not equal. So we'll move forward. Now A will be pointing to A2 and we will be pointing to B3. So we'll check if these two nodes are equal or not, and they are not equal. So we'll move forward and change the pointers. So A will be pointing to C1 and B will be pointing to C1. So at this moment, both the pointers are pointing towards the same node. So uh, now they are equal. So this is the node where the two linked lists are intersecting. So this is how we are going to do it. I'll anyone has any doubt with this approach? So okay, so we'll move with the code now. So I'll write up the code. So what we have to do is find the intersection of both the linked lists. What we'll get as input as head of both the nodes, both the linked lists. Sorry. So we'll get the head of both the linked lists. First, we'll check if any one of the nodes are none or not. None or not. So if any one of the head nodes is none, then we don't have a linked list. So that is just a none pointer. We'll return none. Now we'll find out the length of the first linked list and we'll find out the length of the second linked list. So first, I'll name the length of the first linked list as n1, and I'll traverse the first linked list. So I'll just as I explained in the previous lecture, how we traverse the linked list and how we find out the length of the linked list. So we'll just change the pointers to point to the next node in every iteration, and we get to the end of the linked list. Similarly, uh, we'll find the length of the second linked list. We'll start from the head of the second linked list, and we'll find the length of the second linked list. Okay, so current is equal to current dot next. So now that we have the length of both the linked lists, so we can now move the head of the linked list which have more nodes step forward, k step forward, which is the difference of n1 and n2, which is the length of both the linked lists. So now if suppose n1 is greater than n2, means the linked list, the first linked list has more nodes than the second linked list. We'll make the head of the first node move k times forward. So here k was 1. So we made the head of the second linked list move 1 times forward. Similarly, in a general case, if we have to find out the difference between the lengths and make the linked list with more nodes move forward k times. So I'll make while k head2 is equal to head2 dot next, and I'll decrement my k, okay, and left, okay, else I'll just if my second second linked list has more nodes than the first linked list, I'll move my head pointer to the second linked list to point to the point k nodes forward. So similarly, I'll do for the this for the second linked list. So now both the linked lists have the same length. So we may moved our head node of the second linked list, which has more nodes than the first linked list. We moved it k times forward, and now that both of these linked lists have the same length, we can now compare it simultaneously and get the node which is common in both the linked lists. So we'll do that now. So I'll just iterate from head 1 and head 2 from the head of both the nodes, and I'll compare both the nodes. If they both are equal, then this is a common node which common in both. So I'll return the head any one of this nodes. So basically, I'm traveling both the nodes at the same time. So as I explained earlier, so I'll travel both the nodes, and I'll check at each iteration. I'll check if they both are equal or not. So after checking if they are equal or not, I'll make the pointer move to the next node. So and in the end, if they don't have any common nodes, means they don't intersect at all, then then we'll get out of the while loop and we'll return none, since there's no intersection between both the nodes. So this is the code of the second approach, and this is simple, but this is a very simple solution, and it solves a question in big O of 1, big O of 1 space, and big O of n time. So this is what the expected answer is. Okay, any one of you have any doubt about this question? Okay, so we'll move forward to the next question now. So the next question is a medium level question. So I'll explain the question first. Okay, one sec. Okay. So in the next question, you're given a linked list which has a cycle. So this is what a cycling this was a linked list look like with a cycle, and what a normal linked list would look like. I'll just so this is what a normal linked list would look like. So the last node of the linked list will point to none. So if we make the last pointer point to any of the previous node, then there will be a cycle in the linked list. Okay, so this is what a cycle is. Moving forward with the question. So this is a cyclic linked list. We need to find out whether there is a cycle or not, and we need to return the node from where the cycle starts. So 3 is the node from where the cycle starts. We need to return 3 from here. So there are basically 2 approaches to this problem. First one is a very naive approach. We use hash map in that, hash map or array. And in the next approach, we use pointers to solve the question. So first, I'll discuss the naive approach. In the naive approach, what we do is we make a hash map. Suppose this is a hash map. Okay. As all of you know that in a hash map, if you want to check whether an element is present in the hash map or not, it takes a big of 1 time with high probability. So that is not much of a work. So what I'll do is I'll traverse my linked list. So I'll traverse from the head of the linked list. First I'll go to 1 and I'll append it to my hash map. Then I'll go to 2 and I'll put it to my hash map. Then I'll go to 3 and I'll append it to my hash map. Then I'll go to 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I traversed all the nodes and I'll go to 3 now. So when I go to 3, I'll check if there is already a node present in this hash map or not, and I'll check it in big of 1 time. So I'll check if 3 is present in the hash map or not. Yes, 3 is present in the hash map. Then I'll return 3. So this is the naive approach. Anyone of you have any doubt with this approach?
But what if 2 nodes have the same key?
Okay. So in that case, so what we store the address of the nodes. So we don't store the value of the nodes. So what is the node? So a node has data and an next pointer, and it has its own address. So suppose his address is hash 1, 2, 3. We store the address of the nodes in the hash map. So for illustration purposes, I added the value of the list. But essentially, what we do. Okay, so
Yeah, I thought the data is stored. That's why. Okay, if address, then it would be unique. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I'll get along with the code now. So I'll explain the code now. Okay. So first of all, we check the base condition. If head is null, there is no cycle, obviously. We'll return. Then I'll make a hash map. Hash map is a dictionary in Python, if you don't know. So I'll traverse my linked list now. Okay. So while current, I'll add it to my hash map. Add the node to the hash map. So I'll make it a set. Okay, dictionary. I'll add current. And before adding, I should check if it is already present in the hash map or not. So if current in hash map, I'll return current. Otherwise, I'll add it to my hash map. And after, if I traverse the whole linked list, and if I don't get any cycle, I'll return none. Since if I get none, obviously there is no cycle in the linked list. So this is the naive approach. Okay. Anyone has any doubt in this approach? The code. Okay, so I'll explain the next approach. One sec. So in the next approach, we use 2 pointers, and we have a concept of distance and time in this. Okay, so I'll explain it. So in the next one, we traverse the linked list using 2 pointers. First is fast pointer, and second one is slow pointer. So what does fast pointer do? Fast pointers skip the next node and goes to the node after it. So the fast pointer will skip 2 and go to the third node after. So I'll just write down the iteration. So fast pointer will first be in the first node. In the second iteration, it will be in the third node. In the third iteration, it will be in the fifth node. In the fourth iteration, it will be in the third node. And in the fifth iteration, it will be in the fifth node. So this is what this is how the fast pointer will traverse the linked list. And now a slow pointer. Slow pointer will traverse normally as we traverse to the linked list. Okay, so it in the first iteration it will be in the at the first node. In the second iteration it will be at the second node. In the third iteration it will be at the third node. In the fourth iteration it will be at the fourth node. In the fifth iteration it will be at the fifth node. In the sixth it will be at the sixth node. So this is how the second slow pointer will traverse the linked list. So this approach, so this is a very optimal approach, and this approach has two parts. So in the first part, we have to detect if there is a cycle in the linked list or not. How are we going to do it? So we use fast and slow pointers. The fast pointer runs twice as fast as the slow pointer. So you can see it here. So I've written the indexes of the, I've written the iterations here, and the slow pointer will traverse one step at a time. So what we do is in the first iteration, both the nodes are at the same place. We don't check if they are at the same place. The second iteration, 2 is at the second node, and so slow is at the second node, and fast is at the third node. So I have written the iteration numbers. So for fast, I have marked it using red color. So the first iteration, fast is at the first node. In the second iteration, fast is at the second node. Third iteration, it is at the fifth node. And in the fifth iteration, it is at the fifth node. And during the fifth iteration of the slow pointer, it is also at the fifth node. So at a time, they will both be at the same node. So fast and slow pointer will be pointing to the same node at one time of the iteration. So at that time, we'll get to know that there is a cycle in the graph, cycle in the linked list. Okay, so because fast pointer is moving faster than the slow pointer, if they meet at any node, then we get to know that there is a cycle in the linked list. So anyone has any doubt in this approach?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I had a question in the last question, which was about the intersection of two linked lists.
Yes.
So if there is a test case in which there are 5 nodes in the first linked list, which are can you write it?
Okay, so I'll make 5 nodes. 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4, 5.
And the second linked list has only one element, which is 4.
Okay.
Sorry, make it 3. Make it 3.
Okay.
Okay. So now if we traverse the bigger linked list by the difference of their sizes, which is 4, then we point to the fourth element, right? In which case we are missing the intersection point.
So if any of this linked list intersect, so basically if suppose my second linked list, suppose I'll make the linked list. Okay. So this is your linked list with monodes. 1 second. Okay. So this is a linked list, and this is where our second linked list starts, right?
Yes.
So the length of the second linked list is 3, right? Because they both intersect. So they both has.
What I said is second linked list has only one element, which is 3.
So if the second linked list has only one, this is not possible actually, because if the second linked list has only one element, it will be pointing to 5 because they both intersect at one time, and after that intersection the length is same after that. So the both linked lists, suppose I'll take example. Suppose we have another node 6,
Okay.
and they are both intersecting at 3. So this length will be common for both, right?
Actually, yes, I think you're not getting my question.
So
What
suppose,
what I said is second linked list has only one element. So
okay.
I think in that case, the code fails, I guess.
No. So if the second linked list has only one element, so you're saying that 3 is the element of the second linked list, okay?
Yes, the only element.
Huh. So if you know if you know a node, it has data and next pointer. So suppose this is your node, okay, which is common to both the linked lists,
Yes.
okay. So its next node will be pointing to 4. Otherwise, they will not intersect, right? Both the linked list has this node as common node, right? Both the linked list this will have this node as common, okay. So from this point, they will have all the elements in common from this point, because the next pointer of the third node will be pointing to 4 for both the linked list. If it is not pointing to the 4, then they are not intersecting. Suppose this is if they are not pointing to the same node, then they are not intersecting.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, have I answered your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving along with our question, the first part was to how to find the cycle in the linked list. So this is how we are going to find the cycle in the linked list. So after we find the cycle in the linked list, we have to return this node because this is where the cycle starts, right? So at this point, we got to know that there's a cycle in the linked list, which is a fifth node. So I'll take 1 second. Okay, so at this point we got to know that our linked list has a cycle, and we need to return this node, right? Suppose we consider this length as x. Sorry for my drawing. Okay, suppose this is the length x, and this is the length y. Okay, and this is the length z. Okay, at x plus y length, both the slow and fast pointers meet, and at the length of z is our node which we have to return. So here the concept of distance and time comes in. So I'll just input the image. One second. Okay. This is not the image. So I've removed all the nodes for illustration purposes. Okay. So this is the length x, this is the length y, this is the length z, and this is where both slow and the fast pointer meet. So I'll prove it to you that here if you have solved this question, then you will note that your x is equal to z. So this length and this length is are equal. So x is equal to z. I'll prove it to you. So x is equal to z. We'll start with the speed of the first fast pointer. So what will be the speed of fast pointer? So after when they meet, okay. So what is the distance traversed by the fast pointer? They traverse x plus y. So they traverse x length, y length, and z length, the fast pointer, and it traverses again y length, and they meet here. So x plus y plus z plus y is the length that the fast pointer traverses in time t. Okay, and the slow pointer. The slow pointer traverses x distance and y distances, and they both meet here. So the distance traversed by x and slow pointer and the slow pointer is x plus y, and the time is t. So this is the speed of the slow pointer. And since we know that the speed of the fast pointer is twice the speed of the slow pointer, so speed of the fast pointer is twice the speed of the slow pointer. Okay, we got our equations here. So what we do is cut. I'll cut t from both the sides. So I'll get x plus 2y plus z is equal to 2x plus 2y, and then I'll cut 2y on both the sides. So x plus z is equal to 2x, and then I'll get x is equal to z. So this is the proof that the distance x is equal to distance z. All of you got the proof? Okay. So this is the proof, and after we know this, that distance x is equal to distance z, we can easily find out this node. So one second. Okay. Okay, so distance x is this. Okay. X, and distance y is this. Here is where they meet. Okay, this is the node where the slow and fast pointer meet, and this is the distance z. Okay, we know that x is equal to z. X is equal to z. So what we'll do is we will iterate from here and here. So we'll start from the head of the linked list, and we'll start from the node where both the pointers intersect. In short, meet. Okay, so both the pointers that meet at phi, and we'll start from the head. Okay, we'll traverse from both these pointers. In the first iteration, we'll check if one is equal. We'll see if one is equal to phi. No, one is not equal to phi. We'll move a pointer to the next node. We'll move a pointer to the next node. So one second. We'll name the pointers first. Okay, okay. So this is the pointer 1, T1, and this is the pointer 2. Okay, in the first iteration, we'll check if pointer 1 is equal to pointer 2. No, they are not equal. We'll move forward to the next node. Now pointer 1 is pointing to the second node, and pointer 2 is pointing to the sixth node. We'll check if 2 is equal to 6. No, they are not. We'll move forward to the next node. So pointer 1 will point to the third node, and pointer 2 will point to the third node. This is where both the pointers will be equal, and this is where we'll return the node. So because this is what we know. Okay, this is the node we have to return. All of you understood the algorithm? Okay. I'll walk you through the code. Okay. Okay. We get the head of the linked list. So we'll check if head is none. If head is none, then there is no cycle. We'll return. And then we'll make two pointers. Slow is equal to head, and fast is equal to head. Okay, and we'll iterate through a linked list. Well, fast and fast dot next. Slow is equal to slow dot next. And we'll make a fast pointer move forward 2 steps at a time. So fast is equal to fast dot next dot next. Okay, and then we'll check if slow is equal to fast. And if they are equal, we'll make a flag. Flag is equal to fast or slow. Any of this will work, and we'll break from the loop. Okay. Okay, so I'll make a flag. So we are traversing with our fast and the slow pointers. So we are traversing. Okay, we're traversing with the fast and slow pointers, and if we meet here, we'll break the loop. Okay, and then we'll make 2 pointers. First of all, we'll check if flag is none. If flag is none, then there is no cycle, and we'll return. And then we'll make 2 pointers. I'll name it iter1 is suppose iter1 points to the head of the linked list, and iter2 points to the node where both the slow and fast pointer meet. So I'll point it to the flag node, and then I'll iterate. Okay, so and then while iter1 and iter2, if they are equal, suppose if they are equal, I'll return iter. Any one of those will work. I'll return. Otherwise, I'll move to the next node. And if suppose both the iteration ends, this will never be the case. So this is the code of the second approach, and the time complexity of this code is big O of n, and space complexity is also big O of 1. So this is the most optimal approach to solve this problem. So over to you, Mohil. Anyone have any questions? Okay, over to you, Mohil.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, is it visible now? Screen? Hello. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll be starting with my next problem. That would be remove the nth node from the end of the list. So the question says that given a linked list, remove the nth node from the end of the list and return its head. Okay. And they have given us an example over here. So for a linked list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the n is 2, that means we have to remove the second last node from the linked list. So the resultant becomes 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Also, they have given us a follow-up saying that can you do this in one pass? Okay. So if we have to stick exactly to what they say to do it in one pass, then we are going to require some extra space. So that is the approach I will tell, and afterwards I will tell you how to do this, how to do the same question without any extra space. That is in constant space. Okay. So that is exactly what I have written over here. This is the big O n time and big O n space solution. Big O n plus k and constant time solution exists, but since the question says one pass, I will tell you that first. Sorry. All right. So we'll take this as an example. If I have a linked list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm supposed to remove the third node from the last. That is, I'm supposed to remove node number 3. So how are we going to do this? So now the point is, how are we supposed to use our single pass properly so that we don't need to do anything else after we have traversed the entire linked list? So the approach which I'm choosing right now would be, as I traverse the entire linked list for once, I'll be pushing back, I'll be appending the nodes to a vector in C++, or you may call it as a list in Python. Okay. So yeah, so one may ask that why to put it in a vector? So the biggest problem with linked list is that in the first hand you don't have the entire length in your hand. So traversing and putting it in a vector or list will give you the length of the linked list, which is crucial because we are supposed to remove the nth node from the end. And once you have stored the entire list in a vector, you can always fetch any necessary node which you need in a constant time, in a big O one time. Okay. So here's how the operation goes. First of all, we have our in our step one, you can see we have our original linked list. Okay. Now what we are doing is we are and this is the sorry, and here is the nth node which we have to remove. So what we can do is we can join the n plus 1th node from last, that is 2, and the n minus 1th node from last, that is 4, and we can join it. That gives me my final linked list, that is 1, 2, 4, and 5. And as you can see, there is also there's still that node 3 which still points to 4, but because my 2 points to 4, when I return my head, that won't reflect, that 3 won't reflect in my answer. So if while in a competitive programming environment, you can skip this step, but it is always a good practice to delete that 3 node. Okay. So that's exactly what I've written over here. So we are going to link the n plus 1th node from last node and join it to the n minus 1th node from the last. Okay. So okay, sorry. So I'll now tell you how to do this in code. Okay. So here's the code for this. So I'm maintaining a vector of nodes. I've called it keeper, and I'm creating a temporary node for carrying out the operations, and I'm keeping my head safe for returning afterwards. And as I'm traversing my entire linked list, I keep appending the nodes. I keep appending the nodes to my vector. And once I'm done with this, now I know the length of my linked list. Okay, so that I'm saving it in a variable called as len. Now there is one corner case that if the question is asking me to remove the first node. Okay, if the question asks me to remove the first node or the nth node from last, that is the first node, then I'll simply return the second node. That would be head next. The head points to my second node, and that is what I'll be returning if I'm asked so. Okay. Otherwise, what I'll do is, as I said, I'm going to link my n plus 1th node from last to the n minus 1th node from last. So here's how I'll do it. For example, this is my vector. Okay. So if this is my vector and my len is 5 over here and my n is 3. Okay. So len minus, so okay, 5 minus 3 minus 1, that is 1. So this nodes next points to the len minus n minus 1. That means this nodes next, that is 4. So we are skipping the 3 and we're directly pointing this node number 2 to my 4th node. Okay. Now over here I've not removed my three wala node, but that is not necessary for this question in particular. So I avoided it, and I've simply returned my head. So whenever the program is getting judged, the linked list which it sees is 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay. So this is the solution in which I am literally doing passing through the linked list only once, and I'm using some extra space to find my solution. Now, what if I want to do it in a constant space? Okay, that means I don't want to create any sort of vector. So for that, we are going to use a 2-pointer approach, a little similar to what Keshav has done in the previous question. So what we are going to do is we will be having 2 pointers. The first pointer, that is my slow pointer, will be pointing to my head initially, and my fast pointer will be pointing to the plus a. That means if I want to remove my third number from last, then it will be 3 nodes ahead. That means 2, 3, and 4. Here will be my fast pointer at 4. Now what I'm supposed to do over here is I will start traversing both the pointers. Okay, and I will traverse till the time my f next doesn't point to null. Okay, so after one iteration, you see that my fast pointer has moved to 5 and my slow pointer has moved to 2. Okay, and now 5's next points to null, so my loop will stop. Okay, so now at this stage, my slow pointer is pointing to the node exactly before the element which needs to be deleted. Okay, so over here 3 is the node which needs to be deleted, and my slow pointer is pointing to the node before it. So now again I have to do the same thing. I have to just link my this pointer to the one ahead of the adjacent pointer, that is link 2 to 4. So now how to do this? Okay, so yeah, moving the pointer to the k position takes k iterations, and completing this takes overall n iterations. So the code for this is as follows. I'll be making 2 nodes, slow and fast, and I'll be having a counter which is just for iterating which is just for doing the n iterations, so that my fast pointer reaches to the appropriate space. Um, After till my line number 20, I have reached my first stage. This is my stage after line number 19. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm starting a while loop again till my fast next doesn't return null. Okay, and I'm just iterating the pointers one after the other. And as soon as my fast next hits null, my loop stops. Okay. I'm just doing what I've done earlier also. I'm just linking my sorry. I'm just linking my pointer before that to the next pointer, like over here, and that's it. And this is one edge case. If fast returns null, then I have to return slow next. That is an edge case. And once I'm done with this, my third node will be skipped, and when I return my head, my answer will be correct. So these are the two approaches. This one does not take any extra space. This takes n plus k operations. So this is a little more space-wise efficient. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Any doubts? Okay, so I'll pass it to Arkadeep now. He'll be doing our last question of the segment.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So my question is copying a linked list with random pointers. Now, the first thing which arises is what is a linked list with random pointers? Now, first of all, a linked list contains nodes, and each node contains two things. First is the data itself, and the second is a pointer to the next node. Now, in this question, each node contains another variable. The variable is a random pointer. The random pointer points to any other random node in the linked list, or it may point to itself. Okay. Now, suppose this is a linked list. Suppose this is a linked list, and now suppose we have a random pointer from 1 pointing to 3, from 2 pointing at itself, from 3 pointing at 4, and from 4 pointing at 1. This is the linked list with random pointer. So what our question says is that we have to copy, we have to basically clone this linked list into another linked list and return the head to the of that cloned linked list. So there are two approaches of doing it. One approach saves time and another approach saves space. The first approach which saves time is the approach using hash maps. The approach goes like this: we make a new linked list. First of all, we make a new node. the node contains the data of the head of the original linked list 1. We make this 1, and then we continue on copying linked lists, copying the first linked list in a manner such that only the nodes are created and not the random pointers. In this way, we make a new linked list, right? But notice in this new linked list, the random pointers are not assigned. So now what do we do now? We make a hash map. The key to the hash map contains the address of the nodes of the original linked list, and the value for each key contains the address of the nodes of the cloned linked list. And once we iterate over the hash map, we assign the random variables. We assign the random variables of the original linked list using the original linked list as the key, and assign the random variables of the new to the new linked list. It will be better explained once we go over the code. Here, first we create a new hash map in Python. Hello.
Can you zoom in a little?
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes.
In Python, hash maps are the dictionaries can be used as hash maps. Okay. So first is the base case. If the linked list is has a length 0, then we simply return the head because it is null, and then we create a hash map. In Python, we use the hash maps. So we create a new dictionary and call it hash map, and then we start cloning the old the original linked list into a new one. First, we create a dummy node containing the value -1, and make it the head of the new clone. We call the head current, and now while the head is the head of the original linked list, right? While the head is not equal to null, we assign current.next is equal to head.value. That is the next variable to current. Current is head of a new linked list. Then we add the value of the old linked list into a new linked list. For example, if the new linked list contains the value 1 as the first node, here we have the head of the new linked list. We add 1 here. The new linked list 1 is copied. Now suppose the second node of the old linked list is 2. As 2 is not equal to null, we add 2 to the new linked list, and after that, then as we do that, we increment head. Now head is equal to head.next. Now the next element is null, so we come out of this list, and now this is 2. Sorry, we come out of the while loop and return new head.next, because the new head is -1, but -1 is just the dummy variable. Now the actual head is 1. Thus we return my new head.next, that is 1. Thus we return the head of the new linked list. But notice, suppose this is a random variable, but in the new linked list the random variables are not yet assigned. So what do we do now? We use a hash map. In the hash map, suppose the hash map is h. For the key we use the address of the old linked list. Suppose h of 1 is equal to 1. Here 1 is not the value of the old linked list, it is the address of 1. H of 2 is equal to 2. Here 2 is not the value, but rather the address of this node, and this 2 is the address of this node. Thus we create a hash map in this way. Okay, and then as the new linked list is created, we assign 2 variables. One is current1 and another is current2. Current1 is the head of the new linked list, and current2 is the head of the original linked list. While current1 and current2 are both not equal to null, we assign current1.random. Remember, current1 is the head of the old linked list. Current1.random is for the new linked list. Current1.random is none if current2.random else hash map current to the random. This statement means that current one of random is equal to null if suppose in this linked list, and this is the original linked list, 1, 2, 3, null. Suppose the random variable of 1 points to null, 2 points to 3, and 3 points to 1. Here current 2 of random. This is the original linked list, right? And current 2 is the head of the original linked list. Here current 2 of random is null. Thus current 1 of random is also equal to null if current 2 of random is equal to null. Else if current 2 of random is equal to some value, suppose current 2 of random is equal to 3 here, then current 1 of random is also equal to 3 for the new linked list. That is where we use the hash map, because hash map stores the address. See, it is storing the address, and thus using these addresses we assign the random variables, and after assigning the random variables we propagate current 1 and current 2. That is, we increment current 1 and current 2 by current 1 is equal to current 1 dot next, current 2 is equal to current 2 dot next. We continue doing this until we reach the end of the linked list, that is null. And after assigning all the random variables, we return new head. New head is the head of the cloned linked list. And by doing this, we effectively clone the linked list and return its head. That is the first approach. It uses hash map, but by using hash map, extra space. But because of using hash map, extra space is needed. The second approach doesn't use any extra space, but it will take some extra time, because in the second approach we iterate over the linked list multiple times. Now in the second approach, suppose this is our linked list. Here 1 points to 2, points to 3, points to 4. These are the next variables. And as for the random variables, 1 points to 3, 2 also points to 3, 3 points to null, and 4 points at itself. Okay. Now in the second approach we do this. Suppose these are the original nodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. In between the original nodes, we create and insert new cloned nodes. In between 1 and 2, we insert 1. In between 2 and 3, we insert 2. In between 3 and 4, we insert 3. And in between 4 and null, we insert a cloned version of 4. These new nodes do not contain any random values, and neither they contain any next values. They only contain the actual data present in the original node. After inserting this, we start assigning the next pointers. That is the pointers which point to the next element in the linked list. After remember, originally 1 points to 2, 2 points to 3, and 3 points to 4, and 4 points to null. Sorry, I made a mistake here. 3 points to 4 here. This is the original 4. This is the clone 4, and 4 points to null. But after making these new elements, we change the links. We remove this link and we make the link here. Now the original 1 points to the new cloned version of 1. The cloned 1 points to original 2. We remove the link for 2, and now the cloned the old 2 points at the cloned version of 2, and we continue on doing this until a linked list in this manner is made. Now the linked list is in such a way that the old version of the linked list points at the new version, and the new version points to the next element. And now remember one thing: there is still the random variables left to assign. And finally, the last part, another part is the last 4, which is the clone version of 4. It must now point to null. Now all that is left to assign is the random pointers for each variable. Remember, 1 point in the original linked list, one points to 3, 1 points to the original version of 3, not a clone version. 1 points to 3, 3 points to null, 4, the original 4 points at itself, and 2 points at 3. The original 2 points at 3. Now notice here, any of the clone versions do not have any random pointers assigned yet. The next part of the problem is to assign the random pointers. To the clone version, right? To do this, just a minute. To do this, we simply need to observe the new linked list which you have formed. This is the new linked list formed, which contains both the original and the clone version. Now, on observation, we notice that suppose the current variable of the old linked list is C. The random pointer of C is R, and the value next to C is N. Now, suppose this is C, right? Now, what is C dot next dot R? C dot next dot R is the random pointer of the clone variable. This doesn't exist yet. Now, what is C dot R dot next? Now, C dot R dot next is first we have to find what is C dot R. C dot R is the random pointer of 1. Random pointer of 1 is the original 3. Now, what is R dot next? This is R dot next. Original version of 3 points at the clone version of 3. Now, what we have to do is we have to point the clone version of 1 to clone version of 3. Now, we look at this. What is C dot next? C dot next is the clone version of 1. Now, we have to assign the clone version of 1. We have to assign the random variable of clone version of 1 to this. Thus, we simply equate these. Thus, clone version of 1 dot random points to the clone version of 3 now. We simply do this for all the clone variables. On doing this, we form a new linked list in which looks something like this. Just a minute. Which looks something like this. All the original versions are pointing to the random variables of all the original elements are pointing to the original versions, and all the random variables of the cloned elements are pointing to the clone versions. Here the original versions are in black and the clone versions are in green. Now these are the two linked lists merged in one. Now to solve the final part of the problem, we have to segregate these two lists and divide it into two parts. One containing only the original versions and another containing only the new version. To do this, notice this. The original version of 2 is being pointed at by the clone version of 1, and the clone version of 1 is being pointed by the original version of 1. Thus, if the current variable is 1, and we need to point current to 2, but 2 is what? 2 is current dot next. Similarly, for the clone version of 1, the clone version of 2 is, suppose this is C1. Suppose this is C1, and if we need to point C1 to 2, notice C1, we have to point this C1 dot next, because 2 is next to the next of C1. We do this step. We do C dot next is equal to C dot next, and we do C1 dot next is equal to C1 dot next. We do this step for all the original and all the clone versions of the variables of the linked list. And on doing this, both the linked lists are separated into two parts. And finally after doing this, we return 1, because 1 is the head of the clone linked list, and that is the final step. Let's go to the code of this process. First we check that if the linked list is null or not. If it is null, that is, if the linked list is of length 0, we simply return the head, because there is no node to perform any operations on. If it is not null, we first create a clone variable containing the value of the original variable, which is this step. See, in this step, suppose the linked list is just 1, 2, 3, null, And this is the original linked list, suppose, and the random variables are like this. The random variables have 2 points to null, 3 points to 2, and 1 points at itself. Then in this step, a new node C is formed, and C just stores 1. It doesn't have any random variables. It doesn't have any next pointer. In this next step, we assign C dot next is equal to H1 dot next. Now H1 is the head of the current variable of the original linked list, right? So H1 dot next is the node 2, but to insert the new node in between this, we have to assign the next of this variable to this. So the next of the new node now points at 2, and the next of the original node, that is H1. H1 dot next is equal to C. Now H1 points at this, and this link is now removed. Thus, in this step, this while loop, we insert all the new nodes in between the old nodes. Remember, these new nodes do not contain any random variables. Now in this while loop, we assign the random variables using the step I mentioned earlier. H1 dot next dot random is equal to H1 dot random dot next. How does that work? I'll just explain. Just a minute. The board has become very messy. In this step, suppose H1 is the old node, is the head of the original node. Thus, and what we need to do is point the new node, which is this green one. We need to point this new node at a cloned version of 3. Now, how do we reach cloned version of 3? We simply do H1 dot random. H1 dot random is the original version of 3 dot next. Because the cloned version of 3 is next to the original version of 3, we do H1 dot random dot next. This value dot next, and this is the value that we assign to the random of this. What is this? This is H1 dot next, because the new clone is next to H1. H1 dot next dot random is equal to this, is equal to H1 dot random dot next. In this process, we assign all the random variables to the clone linked list. Okay. Now this is covered in this part of the while loop, and after each step we increment our H1. Why do we do H1 dot next dot next? Because we only want to hop from the original nodes. Now H1, this is H1. H1 dot next is the clone node. Now H1 dot next, which is 2, that is the original node. That is why we do H1 dot next dot next. And now in the final step, this step, we segregate the two linked list into we segregate the compiled linked list into two different parts. While OG and CP, while OG is the head of the original linked list, and CP is the head of the clone linked list. While OG and CP means while both OG and CP are not equal to none. This step is if OG dot next not equal to none, we assign OG dot next is equal to original dot next dot next. Similar to what we did earlier. After assigning all the random variables, after all the random variables are assigned, this should point to this and not this, because this is a clone node. Thus H1 dot next, we cancel this link. This is H1 dot next. We assign this link to this. Thus the original one is now pointing to the original 2. Similarly for the copy, the copied one is now pointing to the copied 2. This is what is achieved in this step, and after doing that, we increment them using this. Original is equal to original dot next, copy is equal to copy dot next. And after all that is done, we return the head of the original node, that is of the copied node, that is H2. And that is how we solve this problem without using any hash maps. Thus no extra space is required, except for the space that is needed to create the new link. Okay. Any questions? Any questions, anyone?
looks like there are no questions. So
Okay.
I'll do my last question then.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll hand over the presentation to Keshav.
So basically, this was the first question that I explained. So the question was to reverse an English. So uh, earlier in the session I explained this. I solved this question using a hash map or a list. So I solved this question using a list. Now because if we are using a new list, then the time complexity will be big of n, and the space complexity will be big of n as well. So we don't want to use extra space here. So if we don't want to use extra space, then we have to use pointers only to solve this question. So I'll explain how to do using only pointers. Suppose we are at node 2 and we want to basically what we want to do is to reverse this list. Okay. So suppose we are at node 2. I'll make a pointer that points to node 2. Now, if you want to reverse the linked list, then I need to change this pointer to point to the previous node, right? So I should change this pointer to point to the previous node. And if I want to change this pointer to point to the previous node, for that I should have another a track of the previous node as well. So I'll make a pointer which points to the previous node. And after changing my pointer, so suppose if I after changing my pointer, I need to go to the next node to change. After I am done with the second node, I need to go to the next node to change its pointer. So I need to keep track of the next node as well. So before changing the pointer of the next pointer of this node, I'll keep track of the next node as well. So I will use 3 pointers, and I'll change the and I'll solve this question. So first thing I'm going to do is I'll change the next pointer of the current node to point to the previous node. Okay, this is the first step. Okay, and then I'll move my current pointer to the next node. Okay, and I'll move my next pointer to point to the node after it, and then I'll move my previous pointer to point to the next node. So what we are doing again, I'll explain it again. So this is the we are currently pointing to the second node, and if you want to after we are done changing the pointers of the second node, we have to move to the next node. So for that, first I'll change my previous pointer to point to this node, then I'll change my current pointer to point to this node, and then I'll change my next pointer to point to the node after it. So this is how we are going to do it, and we'll start with the first node. Okay, so we'll start with the first node, and this is how we are going to change the pointers of all the nodes, and linked list will be reversed. So I'll give a walkthrough how this is going to be. Okay, so we'll start with the first node. So if we want to reverse this node, we need to change this pointer to point to the previous node. So before we change this pointer, we need to keep track of the next node so we can travel to the next node. So if I name this as current pointer, and I'll name this as the next pointer. Okay. And since one does not have any previous node, the previous pointer will point to null or none in Python. So previous pointer will be pointing to none. So first of all, I'll change the current pointer to point to the previous node, which is none. And then I'll change my previous pointer to point to the current node. And then I'll change my current pointer to point to the next node. And then I'll change my next pointer point to the node after it. And I'll do this for all the nodes. So this is the steps we need to do to change the pointers of the linked list and reverse it. So I'll share the code with you. So I'll 1 second. Okay. So this was the approach using a new list. So basically a array in C++ and a list in Python. So if you want to do it without using extra space, then we have to follow this approach. Or this is the so this is the most optimal approach to to do this problem, and the time complexity is big O of n. So first I'll check is if head is none, then there is no linked list and will return. And then I'll start with 3 pointers, as I mentioned previous. Initially previous will point to none because the first node has no previous element. So previous will point to none, and my current will point to head. So first node is the head node. The first node is the head node. My current will be pointing to this node, and I'll run a while loop and change the pointers during an iteration. Before changing my current pointers, I'll keep track of the next pointer. So if I'll keep track of the next pointer, and I'll change my current pointer to point to the previous node. So so I'll change my next pointer to point to the previous node, and then I'll point my previous node to the current node. So previous is equal to current, and then I'll change my current pointer to point to the next node. In this way, in every iteration, I'll be taking a node and changing its pointers and moving to the next node. So this is the code, and for if you're a beginner, this might be quite overwhelming for you. So it is simple actually. And if suppose and then we'll return the head of the node. So and then we'll return previous. Okay. So at the end, after we have changed all the pointers, okay, and we are at the last node. So suppose this is our current node, this is our previous node, and our next will be pointing to none. So we are changing the pointers of the last node. So for that, first what I'll do is I'll make this pointer point to the previous node. Okay, my current will be pointing to none because because there are no elements after it, and my previous will be pointing to 4. So after I have done, I am done with all the nodes. In the last node, in the last iteration, previous will be storing the last node of our linked list. So if we reverse a linked list, so initially this was a head, and after we reverse it, this becomes a head, right? So after we reverse it, this becomes a head. So we need to return this node. So during the last iteration, previous will store the last node and will return previous. So this is what I am doing here. Okay, so this was a second approach, and this is the most optimal approach to solve this problem. Okay, anyone have any questions? Okay, no questions.
Okay, so I guess the hard questions were a bit difficult for some people. Linked list is like for beginners is a bit overwhelming, but it is a very easy topic, and it is required for you when you do graph and trees, and also other data structures. So this is why we actually did this. We'll share with you some links for some resource material if you want. We're also sharing all the codes of all the questions in the linked list. We'll add this on the GitHub repository, and the next session will be mathematics 1. So mathematics is very important in CP. Like if you're doing CP, like if you're solving Google's questions or Facebook's questions, most of the time, like they use math. Like it's all about math. So our next session is also very important. We'll give you all the questions by the end of the day, and you can start solving them. Also, if we have any criticism, any doubt, and if you are not finding the pace about which we are going with the questions, just tell us so that we can improve on the next sessions. and keep like if you have any questions, you can ask us directly too. It's fine. Okay. So if that's all, if we do not have any questions, we can actually end this meeting. Okay. I guess this is all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.